Human trafficking and human smuggling impacts victims all over the world, and we've seen it here in our own communities. It can happen to women and men and children of all ages, and it can happen anywhere, including here in the U.S. Last month, the Austin Police Department's Human Trafficking Unit had one of these cases. They rescued a woman being smuggled from Mexico to the U.S. And according to police, her brother was contacted by the suspects demanding money, $5,000. After the family paid it, the suspects threatened to hurt her if they didn't pay more money. According to an affidavit obtained by our Austin affiliate, the victim told her brother that she was being held against her will, not allowed to bathe or eat. She had an injury to her leg. When he learned his sister was being held in Austin, that's when he got police involved. They were able, thankfully, to rescue her, arrest the suspects. Austin police say these types of crimes are becoming an emerging trend, and so far they have already rescued 16 victims so far this year. It's a problem. They're working to combat it. Lieutenant Jim Beck is with us now. He's with the Austin Police Department's Organized Crime Division. Lieutenant, thank you for being with us. Real quickly, I just want to differentiate for our audience the difference between human trafficking and sex trafficking. These are two different things. Can you talk about the differences here as you investigate these cases?
Well, and they are different, but they may also be intertwined. What we're finding is that many of the victims are being brought across, the border, or there's some kind of debt that's obliged to the suspects in these cases, and they may end up trying to pay off their debt in order to work in prostitution or massage parlors or even strip clubs. So it kind of does cross a line, but they are different. So we are with this one, we're focusing on the human trafficking side, which is bringing somebody across the border for money and then extorting the family or the victims for more money once they come across.
Right, and pretty prevalent. I mean, as I said, it's an emerging trend in Austin. When did it start to become a problem and overwhelm resources to try to solve these cases?
Well, I think it's been a problem for some time. We are definitely seeing an increase in the frequency in which we're getting the reports done. Again, as you mentioned, these cases are involving adults, men, women, and children. And we believe that many of these cases are frequently underreported, and it's increasing the need for public awareness in order to bring these type of cases to our attention.
How are the smugglers identifying their victims? Is there some group that's more vulnerable than another? Talk about the process.
We find that many of the cases that we have identified, they're finding people that are at risk victims that are trying to come across the border with the dreams of coming into our country, and they're being promised a reasonable way in order to do it, and then they're being victimized once that service is provided.
And then what happens to them once you all intervene? In this case with this woman, you were able to make an arrest and get her to safety, but then what? What's the next step?
Well, I think it's important to point out that this is not just the Austin Police Department. We have partnerships set up that are involving local, state, and national partnerships. And we have the ability, once these victims are able to be identified, they may make an outcry to provide hospitals and emergency shelters and resources that they need in order to, be successful after we've recovered them. And so, these are often complex cases that are involving groups across multiple jurisdictions, because, we are not just finding this is isolated to the city of Austin, but when these cases are occurring, they're crossing those state and federal jurisdictions, and we have those partnerships set up in order to address these crimes and bring the suspects to justice and rescue these victims.
Is it common, as we heard in this most recent case, for the smugglers to contact families directly demanding money?
That has occurred. We frequently find that the victims are placed into a position where they're asked to, or being required to, forcibly go into these services, where they're being given the opportunity to work for extended periods of time, and then they're being charged for additional life services, that food and shelter and just someplace to sleep, and they're never able to pay off these debts. that they're believing that they can pay off in a short period of time. So when the families are contacted, that does happen, but we're finding that it's more frequent that the victims are just locked into these cases and just unable to escape it many times until they make an outcry, and we're able to get in there and help them.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.